In today's lesson, we'll be learning about and practicing cross-simplifying, meeting the requirements for TEKS 63E. When we talk about cross-simplifying, we're talking about simplifying when multiplying fractions. For example, we already know that if we were multiplying these two fractions, that the algorithm or the process for multiplying fractions tells us to multiply across the numerator and then multiply across the denominator. When we arrive at our product or solution, we should simplify by finding a common factor, preferably the greatest common factor, shared by the numerator and denominator. And when we do, we would get a simplified product or solution of 2/3. What cross-simplifying is saying is I can simplify earlier so that I don't have to simplify at the end. Cross-simplifying means look at the numbers that are diagonal from each other. If they share a common factor, simplify by that factor. So for example, I know that 3 and 9 share a common factor of 3, and that 3 divided by 3 would be 1, and that 9 divided by 3 would be 3. I know that 4 and 8, which are on the diagonal, share a common factor of 4, and that if I divide 4 by 4, I get 1, and if I divide 8 by 4, I get 2. Now, if I follow the algorithm and multiply across the numerators, 1 times 2 is 2, and 1 times 3 across the denominators is 3. And I have my product or solution already in simplified form of 2/3. And you can see that these two products match. So, it's not a question of right or wrong. 2/3 having been simplified from 24/36 is just as correct as 2/3, which you arrived at by cross-simplifying. Simplifying your product or cross-simplifying are just a matter of preference. Which one do you prefer to do? Let's try an example with a mixed number. So now I'm multiplying 1 7/8 times 4/5. Well, 1 7/8 times 4/5 can't be multiplied until I rename this mixed number as an improper fraction. Now you may remember we used the check method to do that. 1 times 8 is 8, plus 7 is 15. 15 over 8. 1 7/8 is equivalent or the same value as 15/8. We're now multiplying that times 4/5. So I'm going to try cross-simplifying. So I look at my diagonals and I say, do 15 and 5 share a common factor? And the answer is yes, they share 5. When I divide 5 by 5, I get 1. When I divide 15 by 5, I get 3. When I check my other diagonals, 8 and 4, I know that 8 and 4 share a common factor of 4. And that when I divide 4 by 4, I get 1. And when I divide 8 by 4, I get 2. Now that I've cross-simplified, I follow the algorithm for multiplying fractions by going straight across the numerator to get 3 and straight across the denominator to get 2. 3 over 2, or 3 halves, is an improper fraction. So I'm going to divide 3 by 2. I know I can make one group of 2 from 3. 2 times 1 is 2. 3 minus 2 is 1. 1 is my numerator. 2 is my denominator. 3 halves has now been renamed back to a mixed number of 1.5. 1.5 is the product of 1 7/8 times 4/5. Now, what if I had chosen not to cross simplify? What if I had 15 over 8 times 4/5? And I simply said, I'm going to follow the algorithm. And when I do, I get 60 over 40. 60 over 40 is an improper fraction. 60 divided by 40 in order to convert back to a mixed number. I can make one group of 40 from 60. 1 times 40 is 40. 60 minus 40 is 20. 20 becomes my numerator. 40 is my denominator. I have 1 and 20 over 40. Now I need to simplify. And I know that 20 and 40 share a common factor of 20. When I divide, first I take my whole number and bring it over. I don't want to forget about that. 20 divided by 20 is 1. 40 divided by 20 is 2. I arrive at the exact same simplified product of 1.5 whether I cross simplify, so simplify up front, or I simplify at the end. Your option. So let's try an example where maybe we do it the other way around. In other words, we simplify at the end and then show how we could simplify up front. So 5/6 times 3/10. If I simply follow the algorithm, 5 times 3 is 15. Across the denominator, 6 times 10 is 60. Now I simplify, and I arrive at a simplified or reduced product of 1/4. If I had looked at these fractions first and realized that my diagonals shared common factors, I could have simplified up front. For example, 5 and 10 share a common factor of 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 10 divided by 5 is 2. 3 and 6 share a common factor of 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 6 divided by 3 is 2. And now when I multiply across, I arrive at a product that is already simplified 1/4, which matches my simplified product from above. Simplifying at the end or simplifying up front both work, both arrive at the same simplified product, so it's really just up to you whether you prefer to do the work up front or do the work at the end. Let's go ahead and wrap up this lesson. This lesson was all about simplifying. Simplifying when multiplying fractions. So if you're multiplying fractions, you must every time ensure that your product is simplified. You can do that in one of two ways. You can either simplify up front using cross simplifying, looking for common factors shared by the numbers on the diagonals. Or you can simplify at the end. Once you arrive at your product, then looking for common factors, preferably greatest common factor, to simplify your product into a reduced form. Simplifying must be done. When it's done is your choice. Up front with cross-simplifying, or at the end by finding greatest common factors shared by the two digits in your product.